idiot. Rolling. Hey, welcome in, everybody. It's Mikey Wine here, aka Gundamoniumworks, and we're live again. Missed you guys last week, but as most of you know, or some of you know, I've been recovering from hernia surgery. So, yeah, it's not fun. And so there's no way I could go last week. And we'll see how far we can get tonight. Tonight's just going to be a casual build night because now that Old Gold competition is done, or at least the entry's done, I can move back to working on projects I was doing before all that. So thus, we're going to be opening up, well, not tonight. I'm going to be working on a Star Wars kit tonight, but I'm bringing back out of the box the Metal Gear Rex. Yeah, so I'm going to start finishing the paint on that and moving forward with that project. So I'm sure there's going to be some people excited to hear that. Anyway, we're just I started this project before I went into surgery. This is for a neighbor of mine. He's a Star Wars nerd. And so I told him I'd build this kit for his birthday. What is up, Happy? How you doing, man? Howdy. Good to have you in. So let me go down here to just the down look, and you can see this is pretty much all I had done last week. I didn't do really anything this last couple weeks at all, just because I couldn't. In fact, sitting up a little bit is still a little tender to sit up because of where the incision is on my. Hey, Tyler, party here. Julius is in. How you doing, Julius? How you feeling? I'm feeling a lot better than I was last week. I mean, it was, I don't know how the doctors told me that this was a 10-day recovery, because there's not even close to a 10-day recovery. I mean, 10 days before you maybe start feeling a little better, but no way. There's just no way that I could barely even walk upstairs really well after 10 days. And so thinking that I was going to try to go back to work was just not going to happen. So anyway, so I got this 1/6 scale Star Wars Shadow Trooper kit we're working on. This is all the torso and the lower torso, the hip joints in here, and I'm working on legs. I got the right leg done. We're going to start the left leg tonight. There's quite a bit of articulation in here. There's two big ball joints on both of these pieces, so there's actually quite a bit of movement that can be achieved. The head has a fairly decent amount of articulation. Told you 3 weeks recovery? No, they told me 10 days initially. But I'm going to be out for 3 weeks. I've already finally got the time to for an additional 2 weeks. This is the starting of the second week off, I should say. It'll be 2 weeks this Friday since the surgery. So, but yeah, everything in my lower abdomen is really not happy, and there's a lot of bruising, stuff like that, a lot of stuff like that. But I can finally sleep without any real discomfort, so which is nice. So that's good. Thanks for all the well wishes. I appreciate it. Each and every one of you guys that has messaged me and wished me well. Speedy recovery, but sucks getting old, I tell you. But this kind of hernia is not uncommon in men. It's just it's nothing necessarily that I did wrong. in over my lifetime. It's just it's something that happens to us. Some of us, like my brother, had both sides done about 10 years ago. He's told me they only had to do one side on me this time, and I told him, I said, I want to make sure I don't have to do both sides. But when he went in, he did find 2 actual hernias on the same side, not just one that I thought originally. So there was 2 repairs that were done, and yeah. So Angel's calling me. Why you call me 6 again? Why you call me? You know I'm on live stream. I'm going to decline that phone call because he knows I'm on live stream. I'm going to message him real quick. He should know better. I'll tell him. Maybe he doesn't think I'm doing it tonight. So anyway, getting back to this, let's zoom in. And what's up, Nick? How you doing, Nick? Good to have you. Let me bring in the close-up view here. We'll take a look at this leg. So far, the gloss black on this is just amazing. They really did a good job with the plastic they're using on this. But I don't know if the 1/6 scale or 1/12 scale kits have this, but the toe has a little bit of bending here, which is kind of nice. So there's some posability there. Let's see who's pinging me. Oh, he's pinging me. He knows. All right. Leave a voicemail. Did he leave a voicemail? He did leave a voicemail. All right, we'll get back to that. So enough of that. Yeah, we're just taking it easy. We'll see how far we can go tonight. I'm still a bit sore. Sitting back is fine. I because I'm not putting any pressure on anything, but sitting up like this at the bench is kind of just a little tender still. So we'll see how far we can go. We're just going to take it easy. So bring out your kits. Get your Star Wars kits ready. If you got any, bring them out. We'll build together. Let me know how's it going. How's your week going so far on this hump day? So, and we're still waiting for the Old to Gold results. The Old to Gold competition. I guess they're nearing the end of that judging part of it, where they're getting together as judges, and they're going to come up with winners here shortly. Hopefully this week. We'll see. I just saw an update from Zacharias, and it was a YouTube update, but there was no video of it. It was just a freeze frame that said coming soon. We're getting there. We're getting close. Apparently there was 60 entries, so quite a lot to go through, and then all of them have to agree, of course, at the end of who's winning what, who's getting what. So we'll see. Fingers crossed for those that entered. We'll see who wins. Anyway, we're going to get started here. So we're doing left leg here, and it starts with the upper thigh, the upper portion, and works our way down. So not doing them all tonight, working on a printer, a 3D printer, or Happy, is it a printer or just a regular printer? What's up, Angel? Sorry, I had to not take your call there a minute ago because we're doing we just started the live stream, so hopefully you're not upside down in a dish somewhere and you really needed my help because I declined your phone call. I would feel really bad if that were the case. So Happy says he's working on a printer. I'm curious to see, is it working on just a standard computer printer, or we're doing a 3D printer? But yeah, I'm just trying to get back in the groove. I opened up the box for the Metal Gear Rex so I can start taking those parts back out, putting them back on skewers, and getting ready to continue the painting on that. I did quite a bit of painting before, but I boxed it up for the 3D printer. Oh, nice. So I boxed up the Metal Gear Rex for the time being, just so I could do the Old to Gold competition entry. Plus, it was kind of getting hard to do things on screen with that because I was right in the middle of painting everything. So everything on the kit had to be painted. I just couldn't do any of that on screen, so it was easier just to work another project while I was trying to paint that. And then Old to Gold came up, and so then I had to take all those parts off the skewers, put them away, so I could start do the painting on that too. So I didn't have enough to go around. I got a lot of skewers, but I was running out, especially with this kit, with the Metal Gear, the Rex kit. There's a lot of little parts on that, so I had a lot of skewers taken up. So I had to really. There's no way I was going to be able to just leave them on skewers and then put everything else I needed to on this, on skewers as well for the Orgus build. But going back to this, the polished black that they used when they molded this plastic is really, 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 really well done. And so I'm wondering if I even need to paint any of those armor pieces. I'm going to try not to. I may have to do some clear gloss on the head because there's some decals. There's only a few decals on this kit. Some of this stuff can be painted, but it's not like the head here. It looks so dark on camera, but there's a couple of decals that go on the back of the head here in these silver areas. There's also some that go along the side here. There's like some vents, and then a couple in the front if you really wanted to, but I'll end up painting those. If I can get away with not painting the armor and the way they molded it, the way it snaps together, they overlap each other, so there's really you don't have a seam to worry about. So we're going to see if that's a possibility. If not, this will get done pretty quick. But if I do have to paint it, no big deal. I'll just take apart those sections necessary to do that. The only thing really, the knee section kind of, you can see how this has a little extension, and that is for articulation. So if you wanted to bend the knee even further, you could. You just pull it out, and it gives you that much more bend in the knee. So I would really only need to maybe paint the Under Armour areas that are of a flat black, whereas the gloss stuff looks good the way it is, and the way they. Actually, there is a little bit of a nub there. Most of the nubs are undergated properly where you won't see them if, sanding or whatever that. There's a couple like this one here on the side of this little knee portion. But that's why I busted out the really high grit sanding sponges so I can go back and really polish these up and almost get it to that initial finish that it had before, so without having to paint. And this is for my neighbor. He's a Star Wars fan, and I didn't really realize that until I brought him over here one day. We were showing him the flooring in the room, and he looked into the closet where my backlog is and saw, "What's up, Ron? How you doing, man? Haven't seen you in a while." Ooh, leg show, yeah. But anyway, he looked in their closet and saw all these Star Wars kids and just started losing his mind. So at that point I realized, you know what, I'm probably not going to build this kit for any other reason. I might as well build it for a friend and give it to him as a gift. So I missed his birthday, though. Had a lot going on early September. But he'll wait. He's patient. Yep, we are working on the left leg of this 1/6 scale Shadow Trooper. Get the first part done. Now we got to start doing some of the next joint down. It's a pretty well made kit. I mean, Bandai standards, it's very good, obviously. Got some huge polycaps in this thing too, for sure. Really big. There's actually 2 or 3 types of plastic. A lot of the ABS, some of it's pretty soft, almost like a polycap material would be. What's Ron saying? I have that 1-2 on the shelf Oh, you've already built it. Yeah, that's cool. This was one of those that I actually got as one of the prizes when I won that Star Wars, that Bandai Star Wars Galactic Model Competition. This was one of the gifts they gave me for winning that one. And it was basically a giant box full of model kits, really. PC number 3. Dave's in the house. How you doing, Dave? Good to see you. Cue the drop dead leg song on Van Halen. Yeah, that's a good idea. Although I can't play any of that kind of music on here because then I'll get dinged for copyright. That's why I actually changed up the music on my intro and outro videos. I don't know if you guys noticed that. It's been a while, but I had the intro and outros made by a friend of mine who does that kind of production work for a living, and he needed some work. He needed some money, and I decided to give him some work so he could have some, make some money, and he did that for me. But I started realizing that all my videos kept saying copyright. Now I wasn't getting dinged for it necessarily where flagged or had to delete them or anything like that. It was just if I was going to monetize any of this, I couldn't because the music was copyrighted. So I just went back in, loaded up the video portion in CapCut myself, and then I was able to mute the original music that he put in, and then replaced it with music that isn't copyrighted. So now I can get away with playing my same intros and stuff without anybody getting butthurt over it. Just fine by me. So we'll see if George pops in tonight. Hopefully he can make it. Let's see, this goes. That's right. This is that compound knee joint here. So I was showing the leg earlier, the right leg. And so inside of that knee joint, you've got these two joints here that move, and then this slotted area is for that extension that allows you for that extra knee bend. So it's kind of nice. Everything fits together pretty tight as you'd expect from a Bandai kit. And just trying to avoid any of those areas that if I can get away with not painting, I will. But I probably have to take apart these sections, or at least mask off the upper and lower legs, and just paint these internals, just to get rid, and get rid of this seam too. Obviously, there's a big old seam down the middle of this, so we can't have that. Seriously, we need to start a band. I don't know if I'm ready to do that, but speaking of bands, I went to a Metallica concert not too long ago. That was amazing. Where did my toothbrush go? Where did it go? Oh, there it is. I was wondering where my toothbrush went for cleaning out sanding dust. All right. Good enough for now. All right, so we pop that together. Yep, we're good. All right, now we got to start building the upper leg. So I need C4 and C3. Actually, all four of these are going to get used up. We're going to get rid of a runner here pretty soon. So this is the upper leg. And they could have easily undergated some of these. It's weird that it seems like the gate choices on some parts were really well thought out, and so that's awesome because now you don't see any These sandy marks, and then there's other gates you're going, why did they put it there? Easily undergated it, made it so you didn't see anything sanding or otherwise. I know I'm going to need these pieces shortly, so I'm just going to snap them out of the off the runner here. Bummer I missed that show. Wanted to see Metallica. Oh, yeah, Metallica, and would have been cool. Yeah, no, that was the first time I've ever been able to see them live. I don't need to go back through that story again, but I've had tickets for them several times in my life, and unfortunately, for various reasons, I wasn't able to go. So this time, I wasn't missing it. I didn't realize at the time when I went back, because I was trying to find the original email for Ticketmaster, and my emails they were gone. And I was like, why are these? Anyway, oh no, I know what it was. I was going through Ticketmaster itself, and the show was not there. Like, it wasn't on my account anymore. It had been deleted. For some reason, I had to find an email. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, as I was going through looking for it, I discovered that I bought those tickets originally in December 22. It was right when the show became available for purchase. And at the time, you could only get the 2-day passes, which is what I wanted anyway, so it didn't matter. But later on, they started selling single-day tickets. But I wanted the 2 days. It was well worth it because it was a no repeat, meaning that both sets on both days were completely different. So no two songs were repeated. And the stage they had made was just unbelievable. You thought it was Metallica that wiped me out? No. Hardly. Although I did have the hernia at the time. I mean, at that time I knew what I had. In fact, that's why I had the surgery not postponed, but I didn't do the surgery until after that weekend. So it was basically a week or two before the surgery is when the concert was, because I knew it then. I'm not missing this again. This was like nightmare revisited. Like, here we go again. I'm going to miss this concert because now I've got to have surgery. All I had to do was get through the weekend without too much trouble, and it was still a little difficult because hernias are sometimes tolerable and other times they're really painful. And I was having troubles, but the hardest thing at the concert was all the standing, because they basically take out any kind of seating anywhere except for your seats that you have, your ticket seats. As far as like the bars and stuff in the stadium, you can't even, there's no place to sit except maybe on a railing or something along the edges. They don't have any chairs anywhere because they don't want anybody getting up with it, holding the chair up or doing something stupid. So, all right. So this goes in. Oops, I got to make sure I don't miss this polycap. I almost did that last time. It's PC2. So the standing was difficult, but fortunately, the time the concert started was right about sunset anyway. So because our seats were right in the middle of the sun, we would have been blinded had we got there. In fact, first night we actually didn't go to our seats already because they had a third band that was kind of opening before Pantera, and so we just let them play. We just stayed down at one of the bars and had some drinks while we were waiting for the sun to go down a little bit. So we weren't staring right at it. We had just been baking. The weather was great, but it was still pretty. Oh shoot! I missed a nub here. I got to get rid of. I saw you're going to Metallica post, and I'm home from surgery post the same day. Oh, I gotcha. That's why you thought it was Metallica that took me out. No, I can laugh about it now, but happy part was about 4 years ago, I thought, I was having more localized pain, and I was noticing it at work, because it's the kind of work I do. There's a lot of lifting and stuff like that. So it was more localized, but it was in that lower abdomen area. And so I told the doctors, I said, I don't know what a hernia is supposed to feel like, but I think I might have one. This is, I'm getting these pains and stuff like that. So they had me go in for a CT scan. They had me drink all this stuff, put an IV in me, do all this contrast imaging. And then at the end of it all, they say, nope, you don't have a hernia. And that was 4 years ago. So fast forward to now. Same thing with the other leg. This is just a kind of a, there we go. It's a very tight fit. So fast forward to now, I start having even more pain. In fact, now it's starting to happen after I'm eating, and so the doctors are thinking, well, maybe it's a food allergy or something like that. Maybe you should do a diary and document everything that you eat. And so I'm doing all this stuff, and then there's days where I'm not in pain at all. And then there's days where no matter what I eat, and so I'm thinking, it can't be food, because there are times where, like I said, where I can eat anything and I'm fine. And then other days it doesn't matter what I eat. So I go back to my doctor. I say, look, now I'm starting to get this big bump, and it's starting to really be painful. And so they say they're going to refer me to the surgeon and have him check me out. So he checks me out, and he's like, yeah, you got a hernia. And I told him about my imaging. He goes, yeah, I looked at those images you had 4 years ago, and he goes, I could see it on the imaging. And I'm thinking, man, this guy saw it. Why didn't they see it 4 years ago? If he knew, if he looked right at it as soon as he brought up my images, because it's all in all in my file, and sure enough, there it is. So they just said, when do you want to fix it? Come in anytime. Just schedule it. Had to be on a Friday. So that's what I did. I scheduled it after the concert. So but definitely not 10 days recovery. Hey, George. George made it. How you doing, George? So let's see. Ron says, saw 4 years ago, it wasn't COVID. Could only have been COVID that year. No, it was. I mean, I guess I'm trying to think. That would have been 2020. Yeah, it was right around the beginning of COVID. But again, the pain wasn't where it was before my surgery. It was just like I would rotate a tire or something, and then it's like, oh, what is that? Kind of jabbing me in the lower gut. There wasn't any physical signs. Like when it got to the point it got to before surgery, just now, I mean, you could physically see this giant bump, when it was bad. And then I'd have to kind of push everything back in place. Doing good. Glad to see you recovered. I'm not recovered yet, George. In fact, we're just talking about, I was talking to a few people before in the AmFam chat, like, we'll see how long I can go tonight. Sitting up is still a little hard because I'm kind of scrunched forward. And so the incision site's a little tender. But other than that, I'm doing okay. I can sleep now without, any real discomfort. Although I did use pillows a few times, like between my legs, kind of thing, to kind of keep everything suspended and padded at the same time, if you know what I mean. It's just trying to take any and all pressure off. It was hard. I had to really develop a system of getting out of bed. But no, haven't fully recovered. I'm still off for this week, and then next week I'll be evaluated again next Tuesday to see if I can go back earlier, but I seriously doubt it. So I actually I'm actually utilizing the state paid medical leave act so I can take some time off. My job is secured and all that stuff. So all that's good. You know, we'll get there, but definitely was not a 10-day recovery like I was told the first time when I asked. And even my brother, who had this surgery, I guess it was a lot longer ago than I thought. I thought it was a few years ago, but he had the same thing done about 10 years ago, both sides at the same time. And he told me, I mean, even the doctors are saying now, it's like, yeah, it'll take you a month before you start to feel pretty good. And it's going to be 2 months before you can really go back to doing everything you did before surgery. So yeah, I don't know where the oops, that's supposed to go on this leg. I don't know where the 10 days came from. You're at the model bench. That's a good sign. Yeah, that is. And even my wife was kind of surprised that I was going to do a stream tonight, but I said, yeah, you know, we'll see. I feel pretty good. I can walk up and down the stairs. It is just the leaning forward part is a little bit harder right now. So sitting back is fine. You know, I can sit back nice and easy, but it's the leaning out, you know, sitting forward against the bench here. So cameras on screen, everything like that. That takes a little bit of. Okay, so there's that extra knee bend. That all works good. You pull the knee out and you get a little bit more. I'm not sure why you would need that. I don't know how posable this kid is, but I think there is one picture on the box that shows him sitting on his, you know, kind of on a knee, taking a knee. And so I guess you can do that. And that's why they do that little tricky part with the knee joint there. Okay, so we put in the thigh, that's in. We got a little bit left to do on the kneecap here, and then we'll start building the foot. Where we go? Oh, D, that's a different runner. I gotta pull this runner down. All right, 14. Yeah, dude, you were invaded by steel. What are we talking about? Oh, you mean the repair? No, well, there's two things that were done because, like I said, when I went in initially, I thought it was just going to be one hernia, and it's a really common type of hernia for men. It's not like I said earlier. There's not like I did anything wrong or did anything different. It's just the way we're built, and over time, it gets weak. The area gets weaker and weaker. The abdominal wall gets weak, and then you develop a hernia. It doesn't happen to everybody, but it's not uncommon in men, just because of the way, like I said, where we're designed. I don't know where I was going with this. The type of, so when he went in, he was thinking it was just going to be the one inguinal repair, but he did find two when he was in there. So he had to put a plug in one, and then the other one was done with a mesh. That was the original one. He thought it was going to be all mesh, you know, just one repair done with mesh, be done with it. But he did have to do a plug on the other one. The plug is just a smaller. The mesh is a lot larger area that kind of goes around all the tubing, so to speak. I'm not getting too graphic, but the plug is more like an umbrella. It goes in and it's inserted through an opening and then opened, and then it keeps everything from coming back through. So that's the two types. You got a mesh that's more surface area, and then that's stitched down inside, and then there's no staples or anything on the outside. I've just been glued shut. It's kind of funny that every time you do any kind of surgery anymore, they don't use external incisions anymore. It's just all glued shut. But I gotta say, the doctor did a horrible seam removal. Got that really ugly seam right down in front of me. So I'm not sure if I need to go back and have him fix that. I'm just kidding. Not going anywhere. Let's see, this is supposed to go in. Oh, there we go. So this is there's 2 types of knee armor on this kit. So yeah, recovering in 10 days, you were cut into, that's the real thing, right? Chicks dig scars. Yeah, but I'm not at that age where I need to worry about that anymore. The only chick I got is my wife. And I don't need to worry about just getting rid of some nubs there. All right, we're going to build a foot. Got the majority of the leg portion done. Now I just got to put this foot together. These feet are kind of nice because they've got the toe section bends, so it gives you a little bit more posability there, which is kind of nice. Sand it down. I'll send you a picture of it. You tell me if you can sand that down. You're going to look at it and go, oh, God. Because, yeah, I'm still at 4 shades of blue all across my lower abdomen right now. Everything is bruised. Just shows you how much trauma actually goes on while they're doing that kind of surgery. All right, I actually got rid of a runner. Yahoo! Yeah, so there's a lot of bruising, but that's all normal. They gave me some decent pain meds too for sleep. I used them just for sleeping, really. I didn't need them for any other time, but it was just the early days of right after surgery. I was just trying to sleep without pain, but I had to sleep on my back. Well, I could only sleep on basically 2 sides when I first started because I just my back and then my right side, because everything on my left side was just forget it, But once I got past that point where I could finally sleep on a different side, it was a lot nicer. It's tough. You can only sleep on one side or the other because you get sore, your body gets sore. You can't just lay on one side continuously without feeling it. I definitely felt it. All right, so I need a few more parts here off of the E-runner. This is E1. This is for the toe section. Julius, when I had mine done, they only had a small incision on the bottom side of my belly, but then below the belly button, it's barely noticeable now. Yeah, there is 2 different ways they can do it. I mean, I was kind of hoping they were going to go in and only do I can't remember what it's called, endoscopic, if that's the right word for it. I know there's a term for it, and it's basically where they just go in 2 or 3 little tiny holes, and everything's done kind of remotely using cameras. But it really depends on the severity, I think, as far as how deep they got to go. Oh, did I cut the wrong part of it? I think I did. I don't think I need this one, so that one's going to go back there. So E1, I got this, I got that. Let me start over here. I just started clipping parts and I realized I think I got the wrong one. So wait, there's got to be... Oh, okay. So that goes there. That goes there. Then this goes there. Okay. Now we're almost caught up. So this goes with that. Then that, then that, then that. Okay. Yeah, I cut off, I think, one of the elbow pieces I don't need right now. Okay, let me catch up to some the chat here. Hey, Julius, let's see. Hey, George, laparoscopic. Okay, yeah, that's probably what it was. I couldn't remember the word. Something scopic. You corrected me. That's correct. And I was kind of hoping that that's what they would do. One moment. I don't think my wife remembered that I'm doing a live stream. I can hear her yelling for me. So I'm just going to give her a quick note so she'll know not to be yelling at me from downstairs because I won't answer. But anyway, yeah, I guess mine was probably too severe. They had to open me up and fix it. But I guess it's a good thing too, because by doing so, he found a second repair that needed to be done, which may have been overlooked if they just went in with targeted areas with cameras and stuff. So it was actually 2 hernia repairs done at the same time for me. Anyway, yeah. How do we say that? Is that yeah? What? Okay. I don't know who that is, but I wish there was a way I could actually send people packing on this. This sounds like somebody that doesn't need to be here. Let's see. Yeah, I can't. Unfortunately, I can't get rid of that. Sorry, guys. Uh-oh, now I just dropped a piece. Stuff sticking to my arm. Crap. I don't know what went flying, but I gotta find it now. I heard it. Oh, boy. Damn it. All right, let me see what's missing now. Something stuck to my arm and went flying. So let me see what I'm missing now. This, and this, and then this. Okay, I know exactly what's missing. It's a gloss black piece for the ankle joint. I don't know exactly where it went. I may need to find it later, but take a quick shot at it here. I thought it made it to the ground. It's not small enough to get lost under my wood flooring, so I don't have to worry about that. But it sounded like it went in because these little cubby slide-out drawer. There it is. See, it sounded like it ended up in one of the channels for that, and I was right. As soon as I pulled the top drawer out, it fell out. There's little gaps on the sides of those drawers, and sometimes little parts can fall and they don't make it to the ground, which can be challenging. Yeah. Not interested. Yeah. So I'm not sure what you're trying to achieve, but you're not going to get it here. So that would be a first to actually get heckled on live stream. Interesting. Who'd have thought? So, Julius, when you say ouch, are you saying ouch to our... So I'm using these really high grit sanding sponges to try to alleviate the necessity of painting, because all these parts are so shiny. If I can keep the sanding to a minimum, then yeah, I can leave that gloss black the way it is because it really is a really nice finish. It's just got to be, let's see here. Oh, okay. Oh, to have you open up so much, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's about a 4.5, maybe 5-inch incision across my left lower abdomen area. Yeah, it's but like my back surgery I had years ago, they didn't use any staples or any incision like they used to in the old days on the outside. Everything was done internally, and then the final outside was just glued shut with Dermabond. It's basically super glue. Gotta use one of these. Let's go down to 6,000. I'll get a little bit. There we go. I don't want to have to repeat it, but 6,000 at least gives me a decent beginning. Then I can polish it out with the 8 and the 10. So by the time I get to 10, it's virtually not noticeable. All right, so that worked out good. I'll do it with 6, 8, and 10 on these lower on the foot here. That should look nice. At least they kept some of the gates. Now, it may not be undergated like I was talking about. That would be nice if they did, but at least the ones that aren't, the gates are really small. So there is, and they're really close to the edge. So even though they didn't undergate, at least you don't have much to get rid of. That's what I hope they do for your back. Oh, I imagine they will, Angel. If it's anything like what I had done, the discectomy that I had done, if that's what they have to do, if you've got a disc that's actually pushing on a nerve and they have to go in, basically what they did was they just, it was about a 1-inch or so incision. Then they pull the muscles apart, go in, scoop out the portion of the disc that is pushing on the nerve, and then just glue everything back together. It seems not that invasive. It still took me a lot longer to get back from that because of the type of work I do. They didn't want me going back for at least 4 weeks, and then they said, well, because you're the type of work you do, we want you out for 6. This was a long time ago. It was a long time ago when I had that surgery done, but turns out I was out for about 7 weeks because at the 6-week mark, the doctor wasn't available to release me, so I had to take an additional week. This is back in California, before they could actually release me. And I was still working under limited capacity then too for a little bit, but which is what I'm going to have to do when I go back to work here. I can go back in a couple of weeks, but I'm definitely not going to be 100% for about 2 months. Are you painting it? Talked about this in the beginning. Maybe not. Maybe some of it. I'm going to try not to do we'll see. I'm going to try not to do any of the actual external armor. I just like the way the gloss they already have. If I can get away with that, I think some of the headpieces will have to be at least gloss coated so I can get decals to adhere properly. You know, the decals that need to be there. So I may gloss coat most of the head portion, but as far as the external armor, if I can get away with not painting it, I probably won't. And this is for a friend, you know, it's for my neighbor. So I'm going to do what I have to, but I really want to get back to the Metal Gear Rex. So I'm going to be taking those this week. I'm going to be opening the bags back up and putting all the pieces back on skewers, see where I'm at. I got to see where, you know, this is stuff that I started masking. I got to see where those pieces are, whether I've got to redo the masking because they've been sitting in bags for a little while. So I may have to redo a little bit of that, but we'll see. We'll see where that goes. And then I'll start painting on that again. So I may have, you know, if I do a show next week, I may have another snap build project going if everything's still in paint, but we'll see. We'll see where that goes. Did that answer your question, Ron? I hope so. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure how much I will be. There's probably going to be a little bit of painting in this, but trying to minimize that a little bit, the amount of it, if any. So, all right. And then this goes through here and through here. Oops, I got to get this angled right. There we go. Goes through the bottom. All right, we have ourselves a foot. I do like this little toe that bends. It's kind of nice. Hey, Ron, do you remember if the 1/12 scale kits have that little feature as well? I don't think they do, but I could be wrong. And then the last thing to do is to snap that right in there. All right, now the next step is they want us to install these in the torso. So we're going to do that. So at least we got a standing kit. We can see exactly how tall this guy actually is. Man, this thing stands tall. I mean, it's supposed to be 1/6 scale, so you'd think at least 12 inches, right? Because a 6-foot man would be. All right. Can't even get the whole thing on screen. I could if I zoom out, but so let's just see here. Let me dump these nibs. Box back over here, closer to me. All right, and we'll see just how tall this guy is. Let's see. I know I've got. Where is my? Oh, it should be on the wall here. Oh, there it is. It's a 15-inch rule. Okay. So yeah, if we go, 13 inches to the top of the head. It's pretty tall. Stormtrooper. So 13 inches to the top of the head. That's pretty good. Just trying to get him to stand on his own two legs here. There we go. Now there is a little, there's a little base to this, and there's a little clamp that kind of goes around his waist to hold him in place. So when he's standing, you know, he's got a little bit of support there, which is nice if you want to put him on display for sure. So, all right, now we're going to get back into this. Yes, I'm probably, wait. Yes, and properly chastised for being late. Who's late? Oh, you mean because you asked a question that I already answered? Is that what you mean? No big deals, Ron. I'm just glad you're here. Don't worry about that if that's the case. So anyway, we're running up on 7 o'clock Pacific time. We'll keep going here for a bit. Looks like we got to do a little bit of work on the waist here. Then we'll get into the arms. So yeah, right now we're just doing belt and stuff like that. Looks like so. But anyway, still feeling okay. A little bit of discomfort. So we'll just keep going for a bit, and we'll see where we end up. All right. So first things first, I need to. Let's see. That's all arms. I'm gonna put this back on the wall. I think where did I have this? Oh, I have it right here. All right. The A runner. I think we're gonna need that. Maybe. Looks like now we just need most of the D runner here, which is all the stuff that goes on the belt. All right. And even some of the G runner, which is where? No, that's B. Oh, there's G. It's funny. This G runner is almost. I mean, it's such a. The type of plastic. It's almost polycap. If not actual, it feels like polycap the way it cuts. It's almost like, do you dare sand it? Do you try to sand it? These are just pieces that go in behind the some of these little pouch thingies that go on the belt. They're not really seen, but it's strange they use this kind of rubbery plastic for this. Maybe it's just for the way it, give it some grip, because there is a slot in the hole on this, so it looks like maybe it's adjustable up and down a little bit. So by having that rubberized texture, it gives a little bit of resistance, a little bit of grip. But I don't know. I'll see if I can sand it. I think it fits inside. I guess it sands. It does a little bit. These fit inside the other pieces that go over the top of it, so you're really not going to see these at all. At least, though, it fills in the back of this piece. I know when I did the Boba Fett build, they had similar pouches around the waistline of that, and they were just wide open, hollow pieces. There was nothing to fill them in, and crap, I don't know which one's which. Oh, I think I got it right. I actually filled them in with epoxy putty just because I didn't want these big, wide open blocks hanging off the belt, All right, so at least I'm going to keep these separate. So that goes there along with number 12. Still laughing about that. I wonder if there's any way I can report that. Maybe on Twitch. I'll have to go on Twitch and see if there's a way to report something like that. Well, these have got a decent mold line on them too, so I'm going to have to do quite a bit of sanding on the sides of these. Get rid of that. So anyway, how's everybody's week going so far? I've been out of the loop a little bit as far as my coworkers and stuff. We've had some interesting things going on at my work, so they've been filling me in this week, and I'm just like, man, I miss all the good stuff. People doing stupid things and paying the price for it that I didn't get to see because I wasn't there. Anyhow, George, if you're still in the room, when are we going to know who won Old to Gold? Because I know I'm getting a little impatient. I'm only kidding. We are dying to know, though. We all want to know. I'm going to use, just because this is a nice square piece, I'm just using a higher grit, my razor, just to polish this a little bit better. There we go. All right. Now this is supposed to fit. Yeah, see, I was right. It's kind of just a press fit. It fits right in the back of that, so you don't even see that back piece. Okay. It means that these are just little belt portions. They're not, the edges aren't that important. They're going to overlap a little bit. So, all right. So this first one goes this way, and then this goes along. Yeah. So I was right about that little slot. So there's, wow, you really got to pull on that. So there's actually a notch in between. You can see how that clicks. You can actually hear it. So that is probably for when, or if you're posing it a certain way, you need a little bit more room. These little hanging packs that you need to pull that down to give a little bit extra space. It's probably what that's designed to do. All right, and this first one goes on this side. So, okay. So that's going to be here and here. All right. It's kind of hard to see at least because everything's black. So you can kind of see there's that square, there's the tab, so that's it hanging on the belt there. And it just kind of covers up that hip joint a little bit. So I think you can pull that down if you needed to have a little bit extra swing, just when, you know, if you're posing the legs out a little bit, you need a little extra room. But other than that, I don't see a reason to have it down. I just put it in the up position. I'm gonna send these. Meeting with the judging team soon to Seattle. To what? Oh, to settle on winners. Okay, cool. So you think maybe by this weekend, or we're talking next week, early next week, or something like that? I'm not trying to pry or anything. I'm just curious as to when you guys can get together, because I understand you got 3 different time frames. Fortunately, I think most of you guys are all East Coast, so it should be a little bit easier to set up a time, hopefully. I know Brian's New Jersey, right? And then I think Zach is in Florida, right? Isn't he with USA Gundam Store? I thought, anyway. All right, so I'm going to assemble this. This one the same way. And then this one is supposed to go in. Oh, wait. Oh, no, you're right. It goes first. So this one goes in here. All right. And now we've got to put on the front piece here. It's a simple. Yep, all the same time zones. Well, that's good. Hopefully that makes it easier on you guys. I saw Zach's he had a YouTube post. It wasn't a video, but it was just a static image that said, the gold update, and then it has said almost apologizing for taking so long. Basically said, we'll know soon. So, because I think who is it? Is it Lewis or Julius? I think Julius has an entry, if I remember right. And then did Clint have one too? I thought maybe. Let's see. Where did I do? Did I do this wrong? Oh, that goes on the bottom. Okay, so this goes this way. Perfect. All right. There's the belt, the front belt anyway. So let me get rid of some more nibs here. And we can actually flip the page. All right, now we're starting on the other side. Oh, this is the holster. Nice. So there's so we have to cut that one off. So is that a? No, it's definitely not a polycap. So it's like that plastic that is. It's actually on the A runner. It's almost like a. Oh, okay, that's easy to see. No, this is. I thought it was that softer stuff, but it actually isn't. This seems like the actual holster seems like softer. Maybe this is. Well, I guess it is a little bit flexible. So this is like one of the pistol holsters for the. This kit also comes with the long rifle too, which is nice. It's got a fairly decent loadout of different weapons that can be installed. So in those three, that does it for that. There's only a little tiny bit left. I'm just going to snap this off the runner since that piece is. There's only a couple little pieces for the back belt portion here, and that's silver. But the rest of this runner is done. So we can toss that in the bin. We'll just keep that one here on the bench. Somebody else got a Star Wars kit going? Anybody? Since this is a Star Wars build night with your host, Gundamoniumworks. Don't like that. This is a strap that's going to take quite a bit of sanding. There's a mold line right down the middle of it. So I think, judging by the way, the color of this is like a flat black almost anyway. I think if I sand this down, it's not going to hurt anything, even if it doesn't come out polished anymore, just because it'll match this holster anyway. So I'm going to have a decent size mold line I got to get rid of. First, I'm going to install this. It fits together pretty good on its own. Still have your Star Destroyer. Oh, you started building it. That's right. So it's in the spray booth, huh? Yeah, get on it, man. I'm dying to see that because you did some lighting too, right? Didn't you have a, or was that just photo etch? I know you had at least the photo etch because I got the same one. I ended up buying it when you showed me. For the big main engine wells and those deflector arrays, I think had some photo etch on them. Did you do fiber optics on that, or did you have a lighting kit for it? Or I can't remember which one you had. Whether isn't the one I gave you, right? Didn't I give you one? I thought I did. So I had an extra one when Bandai gave me all those prizes. I had 2 of them. We'll go down to 800 on this. That's fine. Okay, that looks nice. All right, now I'm going to work on this stupid strap. This is a big, ugly seam on here. But again, I'm not too worried about the finish because it will match when it's sanded dull. It's going to match the rest of the holster. I just want to get rid of that line. There's a massive line going down the center of this strap. Because it's that softer plastic, it doesn't sand the same. It takes a little longer. It also leaves scratches in there because of the way it's, that softness. So I'm going to really have to use a lot of these. I'll just step down each one of these grits just to get all those little scratches out. So I'm starting with the 400 sanding stick, which is a little worn out. So it's not really. It's not that old, but it's still probably more like a 600. Let's see. Angel says, "Yeah, I stopped at the lighting when my back. Oh God, yeah, that's right. My back started acting up. Kid gave me for moving your stuff. Yeah, that's right. See, cob lighting instead of fiber optic. Oh, okay. So you're just using like backlit LEDs. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know what's going to be easier. I keep flip flopping when it comes to just figuring out the lighting on that because it's like, what's easier? I don't remember if the one I have has the glass pieces inside. If it has that, then it's a lot easier to do backlighting because then all those plastic pieces will light up with a few LEDs. If you don't have that and you have to try to light each individual light, then it's almost like you have to use fiber optic, but then you're talking about thousands of strands because there's just these little tiny windows on it. It's a was it a 5,000 scale, I think? 4,000? I can't remember the scale, but there's all these pre-drilled holes. You don't have to drill any holes, thank God, but there's just so many lights down the hole of that thing. I mean, it'd be a great challenge, but still, it's like, do I want to spend a year just doing lighting on a kit? It's so long with it. I mean, it takes so long. Talk about hundreds of feet of fiber optics. Fortunately, I think fiberopticstore.com is back up and running. There was a time period where I checked their website. I was actually talking about it on one of the live streams, and I went to the website while we were on stream, and it said that, that it was down, or I thought it was closed, or wasn't. I was sad because I thought they were gone. I didn't see their website anymore. But since then, I have gone back and found it again, and they had their sales up. So they're still in business, but there was just a short period there where I was kind of like, man, where am I going to find bulk fiber optics again? Because it's not everybody has that. Usually, you can buy a pre-made kit or something like that, or they make them or you can buy a set which has a bunch of different sizes, but it's like half of them you're never going to use. 5,000 filter paper to cut out in glass. Oh, okay. That's a great idea. So yours doesn't have the glass pieces then. Yours is just has the holes already drilled, but so in order to get all those to work as a what's the word? A diffusable light source, you can put that paper behind it, and that should help light up. That's a very good idea, Angel. I like that idea. I'm gonna have to look at the one I've got. I don't think it has the glass inserts either. That was like a special edition one, and it was one of those kind of like the PG Falcon. They made it. They released it for a certain amount of time. You had to get your hands on one early. If you didn't, then you just ended up with the other one. They only produced a certain number of them. Of course, now everybody wants arm and a leg for it if you want to get the good one. I'll have to look and see which one I've got. Because if it has those glass pieces, that'll save me a bunch of headache. Like you're trying to deal with, you're trying to figure out how to use maybe 10 LEDs instead of 400 strands of fiber optic. No glass, yeah. I know I have a special edition B-Wing fighter that comes with has a few glass pieces that light up for the engines and stuff, which is kind of nice. So it seems like all their special edition stuff always had the little extras in it. Down 20 after. Still working on this mold line. Slowly working away. It's taking a while because the surfaces are uneven, so I've got to sand down quite a bit of it to get down to where you can't see into that line there anymore. It's all just for this holster strap. It goes from here to here across the front of it. Just kind of pops in. This is a soft enough plastic that it pops in. There's a tab that pops in this hole, and then one that pops in the bottom one. It looks like they made it so it's supposed to stay pretty much once you install it on the top one, it stays there, doesn't move. This one's removable in case you wanted to put a pistol in there, so they're in and out if you're moving stuff around. You want to be able to take that strap off, it'll just pop in and out of that hole. I think only the engine has glass piece to spread out one LED. Are you still talking about the Star Destroyer? Because that'd be cool. I don't remember. I didn't look at mine. But yeah, because you've got, 3 big engine bells that are in the back, and then about 4 or 6 smaller ones, right? Memory serves. This is a pain in my butt. But we're getting there. I'm almost done. I'm just getting up to the top of it here where it does its little curve. Should be able to get the rest of it done here soon. Yep. So yeah, three big fatty thruster wells, engine wells, whatever you want to call them, and then about four smaller ones, if I remember right. All it's kind of staggered along the back of that Star Destroyer. This 800 works really well at finishing this strap off because it's just aggressive enough to mat that finish down, but not enough to leave scratches in it. I think we got it now. You just gotta pop this thing in. See how easy that's going to be. Okay, that wasn't too bad. And this one goes in there. All right. So there you have it. And again, it's black. It's really hard to see for you guys anyway. Not the best kit to do a live stream with because it's not very easy to see. So this now goes where? It goes on the left hip. Looks like in the back right here. Okay. Just like that. All right, so there you go. There's the holster hanging off the hip. There'll be some other pieces that will go over the top of that. But I think that is probably a good place to stop since we're almost to 7:30 anyway. Okay, let me clean up a little bit here. Just go back to the, look here, 3 large, 4 small. Yeah, I was right then. I didn't think there were 6, so it sounded more like 4. All right, so here we go. This big guy, it looks like we got a few more portions to do for the belt. Oh, there's another holster. Oh, you could do either side. Okay, maybe I want to put it on his right side. I might pull that back off and pop it in on the right side. It's too bad there's not 2 holsters. That'd be cool. Double wheeled. But anyway, a few more accoutrements for the belt, the rear belt portion and the sides. And then we start doing the arms. But in the meantime, the rest of this week, I'm going to start putting all those parts for the Metal Gear Rex back on pegs, see where I'm at. I was smart enough to record all of the paint colors and put them in my phone. So now I can pull those colors back out and know exactly what colors I was going to use because I've already got a lot of premixed paints ready for airbrush. So now I know exactly what paints I've got to get ready to start using again, start painting because everything's been primed and everything. We're beyond that. It was just putting down color. And then I started masking off some of those areas that had different colors. Let's see. We got, it looks armless knife from the Holy Grail. That is true. It does look like that, doesn't it? It's just a flesh wound. Come here, I'll bite your arms off. That's funny. Have a great night, Ron. Thank you, sir. Thanks so much for joining in. I appreciate you guys. My East Coast buddies over there, Eastern Washington. I appreciate you. Anytime you guys can chop in. I know it's late, but especially for the guys on the East Coast like George and stuff, I know it's late for you guys, but I do appreciate you every time you come in and hang out. So let's go back up here and look at my ugly mug. Got those Gundam Guys RX-78 NT1 shirt on tonight. So if you want to see, if you like those shirts, go check them out. I think it's thosegundamguys.org and you can go there, shop there, and find any shirts that are still available. They usually make a new one every year for their upcoming SCGMC, which should be in November. I don't remember the date, but I know it's on a Sunday this year instead of Saturday. Apparently, it's harder and harder to secure venues nowadays, so they had to move to a Sunday. Love hanging out with you and the crew, Mike. Yes, thanks, George. And I look forward to hearing from you maybe this weekend, maybe next week, early next week. We want to know who won. We want to know. We're all dying to know. Anybody that entered was dying to know. If I knew I had this much time between the end of it and this, I'd have taken more time and gone up to the last minute or something. But anyway. All right, Happy. What'd you say? Hopping off. Good. I need to get the rest of the week. Water leak tomorrow. Oh, no. For this water leak. You got a water leak going on. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Oh, that's Tyler. Is that Tyler? Or is that a different? No, that's not Tyler. Anyway, good luck on that, Happy. We'll talk to you guys soon. Anyway, everybody, be good humans. Take care of yourselves because, when you get old, you end up having to have surgery. It's even worse when you wake up injured. Then you know you're old. I saw a meme the other day that showed one of those old credit card rollers and said, I'm this old. And it's like, yep. When my first job was in retail, we used one of those credit card rollers. Kids nowadays will have no idea what we're talking about. Anyway, good night, everybody. We'll see you next time. Talk to you soon. Like I said, be good humans. Maybe next Wednesday we'll be on. We'll start some painting, hopefully this weekend, if I feel up to it, and we'll go from there. All right. Take it easy, everybody.